Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. In this channel I like to share my tips about wedding planning. In this video, it's gonna be a personal video. I want to share my tips and regrets regarding wedding planning, regarding my wedding. It's always actually such a difficult thing to talk about mistakes, some kind of failures and things you didn't really like, at least for me, and especially when it's related to your wedding. But I think it's really important to make such a video for you guys because we all learn from others' mistakes, and actually it's a great way to learn. I don't want you to make the same mistakes, so let me just start. The first thing I really regret about, I looked for the venue in advance, which is fine, but I didn't sign the contract immediately I liked the venue. Because I thought, okay, I'm gonna check other things, other venues which were also on my list, and for the venue I fall in love. The woman there, they actually said, yeah, we will reserve for you this one, and then when you decide, you just come back to us, etc. But then when I called sometimes later, which was like maybe a couple of weeks ahead, they told me that, oh, sorry, your reservation, we had to cancel it because we got a much more interesting offer from the other couple. So it was completely my fault. I had to insist to sign the contract right immediately and didn't actually spend time to look for something else because I was already obsessed with this place. So if you're looking for the venue and you like it, don't wait another day, just sign the contract immediately and then you are done. Because venue is such a big thing and it all basically starts from venue. So you really need to get one as soon as possible, and the one you really like. Mistake number 2. I looked for the decorator among my friends, and not just random friends, but so friends of friends who actually had experience in it and were doing really great job. I adored their decorations and their styles. But you know, since it's like a friend or a friend of a friend, you don't really sign a contract, at least me, because it was such a thing that, you know, it was not like an agency, she was not doing it as a job, or nevertheless, always make some kind of agreement or sign a contract, even if it's your friend and you agreed on everything, because it's such an important thing for you. And it turned out to me that the girl decided to do other stuff and not proceed with the decorations anymore. And yeah, so I had to look for another decorator like almost the last minute. And it turned out I found a really great other girl who helped me and prepared everything. But such a stress, I tell you. So don't do my mistakes. If you agreed on something and you know the person, still make a contract so that you no surprises ahead of you. Another regret from me regarding the vendors. So I looked for the stylist way too late. I underestimated the importance of the stylist actually. And when I started to look for the stylist, it was something like 3 months before the wedding. All really cool one, I mean, based on their portfolio, were already booked. So I had to choose among what I got, among those that were still available. And I don't think like I had a bad stylist. I actually really liked what she did with my hair and the makeup she did. But I had a feeling I was chosen from, you know, like last choices. And in the end, all the pictures, all the video materials you get, all the memories, it's all about how you look like. So the makeup and the hairstyle is extremely important. So please look in advance for the stylist, make some trials before, and also not just, you know, pick up one, but try several. I know it costs some money and you do the trials, but in the end it was it, because in all pictures you will look at yourself and you will need to love yourself. You need to feel comfortable with the pictures you get afterwards. I do feel comfortable, although not at all of them. And of course you might question if it's the stylist or the photographer, But I had a feeling the makeup, for instance, it was a bit maybe too heavy at some pictures, depending on the site. But yeah, I wish I did it a bit earlier, looking for the stylist, and also maybe did a couple of more trials and not just one. And that's a small thing, but still I remember it, and for me it's kind of a regret. It's regarding the nail polish color, because it didn't match the flowers. And maybe someone is gonna laugh right now, but for me it was such a sin. I really wanted, everything was organized, matched nicely, and I put a lot of efforts in advance. But somehow I didn't took the color palette with me when I was doing my nail polish, and I picked up the color that I thought was close enough to the palette I have, but actually it didn't. And it turned out that there was no such a color in the flowers bouquet, and yeah, it was a bit mismatched. I wish I could think about it a bit more in advance and take a color palette with me while doing the nail polish. If you're organizing a wedding reception as well, this is what we did. And honestly, we did it first of all for the guests, because after the ceremony, I wanted to have time for me and my husband, so that we went for a private photo shooting while guests were kept entertained with some buffet. So I thought drinks would not be enough, so we organized some food for them, which was a really nice buffet, as far as I could remember. But the problem is, I didn't have time to eat at this buffet at all. So it turned out that I was really hungry, and I don't really remember what was in that buffet, because photographer and videographer was with us at private photo shooting, so also they didn't have a chance to film for us. And my parents said that it was such a nice buffet, with all these small tasty stuffs, but I don't remember it, and I don't have any piece of memories about it. So yeah, plan more time for reception in case you're organizing one, and maybe think about on all this schedule when you're gonna eat as well. Now, if we're also talking about the eating, drinking, I made a huge mistake, because I drank a little bit of red wine, and then all your teeth becomes red. And of course, at the pictures you don't see it, because if you have a great photographer, and even if it's not great, it's not such a big problem to make your white teeth in the pictures. But still, it's such a mistake. I really haven't thought about it in advance. And only afterwards I realized, actually I shouldn't drink red wine, because, yeah, you understand. If you're gonna make a performance, or just to have your first dance for your family or among your friends, plan a better place in advance. Because we some kind of knew where we are gonna dance, and we prepared actually the whole dance with a choreographer ahead of time. But still, I had a feeling we had to think about where we're gonna dance a bit more, and also to show this place to our choreographer so that he could adapt the dance to the space where we're gonna dance. Because it was not very convenient. I didn't have a feeling that it was enough space. And also, this is something what attracts a lot of attention, and of course you will get a lot of pictures, and it would be part of your video clip, your first dance. So the decorations and the behind the scene, it should look really nice. What in some point or in some views were not exactly the case for us, because there was this screen that our moderator used, and it was just behind or on the way we were dancing, so it was also part of our video clip, and I do not personally like it. So yes, please plan better the place for your first dance, and look at the different angles as your photographer or videographer would do, so that you know what would be captured also apart from you and your dance during the performance. So as I said, there was a screen that our moderator used to entertain the guests and us, and I regret I actually haven't checked his slides, because it's kind of not a big thing, but especially during this first dance, there was still one of the slides in the screen and I didn't really like it. I found it old style, and yes, I think it's important you check all the slides your moderator is gonna use in case you invite one, so that you know what comes in front of you. Let's talk a little bit more about decorations. So, I haven't checked regarding the tablecloths. Because, first of all, we're supposed, as I thought, we're supposed to have tablecloths for reception after the outdoor ceremony. You know, when you get these bar tables. And for this part of the wedding, we had an organizer and a wedding coordinator who helped us at the day. And somehow they asked me to send them pictures I find really nice and what I want to have at my wedding. And one of these pictures, as I remember still now, was this nice bar tables with very beautiful white tablecloths and a bowl that would capture all of them. So for me it was like obvious that something like this I would get on the day of the wedding as well. To my surprise, there were no tablecloths like at all, so it was just a table, and the tables looked really weird. So it was such an upset, because no one even asked me back if I want the tablecloths. I know we were on the budget and maybe that's why they decided to cut this part, but I would like to be informed about such things in advance. So somehow we missed this part, I didn't double check on tablecloths, and then it's really like a regret. Another thing regarding tablecloths is the one for the table where the cake was. Because cake is also, you know, it's like a masterpiece. It's also a big part of the celebration. And it was drawn into the venue, like presented to us and the guests on a small table. But the tablecloth it had, it was such a short one. It was also like really weird experience. And exactly at that moment during the celebration, I was thinking, oh my god, where they found this short tablecloth and why I didn't think about it and I didn't ask in advance how it's gonna look like. So check about tablecloths for your day in case you organize anything where it might be used. Now a couple of advices regarding videographer. So I'm sure you have to make a list of things that you do not really want to see in your final video clips or in your final video film. That's what I didn't do, and I regret about it, because there are a couple of things that we have in our video clips that I wish would not be there. And yes, of course, I could ask in the end to cut this part and make a fresh new version of the clip. But you know, we were waiting for the clips for quite some time and I was happy to get them, so I haven't asked. But in general, I advise you prepare in advance a list of things you do not really want to see in your final video clip. For me, one of the things was high buildings, like tall buildings. I always had an idea, or I tend to organize a wedding in the way that we do, you know, outdoor ceremony, something really like a fairy tale without high buildings on the background. But it was such a scene, and since I had to change the venue last minute, as I said you in the beginning, it was actually difficult to find a venue that would fit my expectations as well as my budget. So we end up organizing a ceremony in the park, but there, of course, on the left-right side you might see some tall buildings from the city. And they turned out to be also in the final video clip, what I didn't like. Another thing is what I didn't really want. Our dance, wedding dance, was included twice. And yes, we did it on purpose twice, I mean dancing itself, because we had kind of two celebrations during the day for our family, where we danced also for them, and then in the end of the day for the friends at the party. But I was not expecting that both times the dance would be part of my final video film. And I would better inform my videographer in advance rather than be disappointed afterwards. Also, I highly advise you check the music background your videographer is going to use for your video clip, because this part I question as well. I might would like to change it and choose something different. But I guess this is something what is really difficult to change in the end when the clip is done. So it's better you talk to your videographer in advance and ask him to send you the clip he's gonna use, the music background for your clip, so that you could approve it or not. And a few words about photographer. I regret I didn't make a list of things the photographer should picture or capture for me during the wedding, because yes, they did a great job, really. They pictured many things, like small details and all this cutie stuff I really like looking at right now. But there was a couple of things that were also major importance for me, but they didn't capture because I didn't tell them. One of the things, I had a really nice dress with a big bow behind. And since I was wearing also long hairs, at some point it never get captured. And for me it's really a regret, because yes, I can remember it, I see it at some parts of the video clips, but I don't have a clear picture with it, what is a bit sad. I know this video probably is a bit long, but I hope you enjoyed it and you're not gonna repeat my regrets or my mistake, and wish you all the best preparing your wedding day. I hope it's gonna be just perfect for you and your family and friends. See you very soon in the new videos. Bye bye!